Watch, that's what I needed. Boom. All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 3 of the McTako podcast. We are looking at getting one more video or audio, both, out before the holidays, and around the holidays probably is when this is going to release. We got a lot of stuff in the works.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. As always, I have Tako with me. Sore. Speaking of sore, how many rounds of golf have we played in the last, 2 weeks?
Man, I don't know. I feel like it's been a lot more than I've played probably over the last 6 months.
I made a comment to Logan Harpool, who was in town, was that yesterday? Mm-hmm. And we played Pan, and that's a sore subject. We won't talk about anything else that happened at Pan, but anyway, I was talking to him about, I'm like, I think I've played more golf in the last 2 weeks than I've played all year long.
Yeah, and it shows because each time you play, you keep making more and more ridiculous shots.
I don't know if that's true. Well,
it's totally true.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, we've been doing a lot of cool video stuff, and I think it's the warm winter weather that's really getting us out there. You know, playing in a hoodie is always one of my favorite things to do, is just that light layer to have on and go out and throw. It's, oh man, it's just nothing better in my mind. So, but no, we did what did we do? We did a generator round, like a random generator round out at New Life Church. Shout out Tristan Tanner. I got the idea from you watching your video. So how that one works is we're on the tee. We start on hole number 1, and we basically ask Siri what pick a number between 1 and 18, and whatever number she popped up with, that's the basket we threw to, and we played 9 holes out there. So much fun. By the way, when I was editing that, and I just had my phone next to me, every time I was playing that part, when I asked Siri,
she was
Siri,
like,
huh? She like, yeah, here's your number. And it's just funny. So, but no, we did that video. We did couples doubles, actually, is out. We had released it a couple days ago now, and that video was a lot of fun from Bad Rock Creek. And then actually just the other day we went out and played, well, actually it was tonight technically, but the other day, considering this video will come out in a couple days, or this audio will come out in a couple days, but we did go out to Hammond and did a couple rounds of 9 with the ladies again.
Yep.
We did alternate shot, and we call it worst shot, but it was tough shot technically. Yeah,
the tough shot. So that way, like, both people don't have to make the putt at the end. Yeah. It's just one person. Once the disc goes in the basket,
it's over.
The hole's over.
It's over.
So
it's still pretty grueling at times.
Oh my gosh,
it is so much fun to do.
It is on a small course where there's not a lot of, like, you know, you make an error out there, you're like, okay, I can still get up and down. But you know, if you go somewhere big and you make an error, you're like, I didn't know I could take 9s and 10s with a partner.
Right? Oh my goodness. It can get rough at times for sure. So
pretty epic, yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on right now. We got a lot of stuff in the works. End of the year is coming up. The holiday season is here already. That's unbelievable. That it's this year.
It's Festivus, Eric.
Oh, the Festivus for the rest of us. Oh man, feats of strength. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
I love Seinfeld, man. That's one of my favorites growing up for sure. But yeah, it's crazy. You know, 2020 has been a weird year, to say the least. I mean, that's the nicest way for me to put it, that it's been a weird year. But it's almost over, and I'm thankful for that. However, you know, just because 2020 is over doesn't mean 2021 is going to be this, like, phenomenal year, right?
No, I mean, you know, I don't think there's any more going down. There is going down from here, but there's not as much as if it was like an awesome year, like the best year you've ever lived. So 2020, I think all of us could collectively say, like, yeah, you know, probably wasn't our best at all.
Yeah.
But there's always room for going up.
Yeah.
So I think next year is going to crush. 2021 is going to be great.
I would agree with that statement. And I mean, 2020 is actually, I mean, as bad of a year as 2020 has been for, you know, the pandemic, everything else, you know, going on in the world. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. But disc golf has thrived. Disc golf has just absolutely blown up this year. I mean, from the CBS Sports stuff to the ESPN Plus stuff, or ESPN2 stuff, sorry.
Yep.
That was phenomenal. And then the rumors I'm hearing about the future of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, national tours, majors, all that fun stuff, man. It's just, for many, many years. Okay, here's something. I'll never forget when I was growing up playing the sport. I remember MTV did a little spot of disc golf. Like
What?
they did a little. I remember Stevie Rico was in it.
What?
There's a handful of other players that are in it, and that was like, we've made it. Like, we're getting that corporate
Where?
sponsorship soon. And
Where is that?
You got to look it up on Google or something, or
We're
YouTube,
Googling that
because it's out there for sure. And it was what's that dude's name? Oh, he did it, the Extreme Sports, I think. Do you remember that MTV?
Dan
Extreme
Cortez?
Sports? Dan Cortez. I
Let's
believe it
go.
was Dan Cortez.
I'm born in the 80s.
Dude, nice poll. Fantastic poll right there, my friend. My goodness. But Dan Cortez was Dan Cortez, and it was MTV Sports, and
Yes.
they did a little segment on disc golf, and Stevie Rico was in it, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who else was in it. But
Stevie's a good. I mean, what's up, Stevie? Where's that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I mean that was 20 years ago, maybe
Right?
more.
Well, what happened to Dan Cortez? We're saying his name right now, and I bet you Google's going to start. Hey, Dan Cortez is still around and kicking.
I hope so. I enjoyed
Dude was
the man.
awesome. Yeah, he's beast mode.
I always enjoyed the guy, but no. So stuff like that's going on. But yeah, to get to the point is, I think 2021 for the disc golf season is going to be huge, absolutely huge, especially with PDJ's announcement of they're upping their final payout for the national tour. It's going to be equality for men and women, which is pretty cool to see. So first place in both respective divisions at the end of the year, I believe, is getting $5,000 for the finale, which is pretty cool.
Boom.
And then it just kind of goes down through the top 10 as equal pay, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. But moving on to another topic, disc golf. Let's just continue talking about some disc golf. But what would you say would be, okay, I want to know what your worst score on a hole was, and I want you to tell me what tournament was. I'm sure it's the worst hole, so I'm sure you can remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally. So
where was it? When was it? How was it? And are you still hurt from it?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're about to relive it right now. So I think this was whatever year, the second year that they did stroke and distance at Ledgestone.
Okay, I was there.
We played Northwood Longs.
Yep.
Great course. And then we also played...
It wasn't the Northwoods Longs that
No.
you see now. Northwoods Gold, I think, is what they call it
Northwood
now.
Gold. Yeah, so this was Northwood Longs.
Yep.
Still super challenging course. They did take out a lot of the brutal OB that they
Yes.
had
Yeah.
on that course. But so that course, you didn't have stroke and distance. You didn't really need it there. But when you went to the lake, oh my gosh. And I think everybody could have an idea on a stroke and distance layout for the lake.
Yeah.
You put me into that corner, hole 7. And by the way, I'm like 930 rated.
Is that the big dogleg hole with the basket
That's
sits by the creek?
yeah. So like after you throw over the field,
Yeah. And then you throw between the fields.
they didn't have that.
That year they didn't?
No, you
Okay.
had to do that
Okay.
super long hike, like all the way. Because I do remember they said that there was a hole there, and then because I practiced, anyways, get over that corner, dude, and I rip one, and I go a little bit OB on my drive, a little bit long left, because I was like, just put it out there and then have it go left. You don't want to miss right. Whatever, I missed. And then I missed again. And I literally, Eric, was down to like 0 discs in my bag.
Oh.
At the end of the day, I took a 17 on that hole.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't think...
Did you say 7?
I think I took a 17. I had like 9 OBs like in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I literally dumped like all my speed drivers. It came to the point where I was like getting up and down the fairway with my putters until I could go retrieve my disc. It was like one of the worst feelings in the world. If anybody has played stroke and distance, like bad enough you throw out of bounds, guess what? You don't get to advance. So now you have to like...
And stroke and distance, I don't mean to butt in here,
No,
but
you're good.
stroke and distance is... First off, I hate it. Everything about
It's
it.
just a brutal rule.
Yeah, it's just mentally taxing. But stroke and distance, if you throw throwing OB off the tee in stroke and distance is one of the worst things you could possibly do.
Guilty. Did it.
I've done it before as well. And it's just, that's when you start to like, anxiety starts to creep in a little bit more, and that next shot becomes even more of a pucker factor, and you just like, what do I do next? So Keep going.
Oh, I mean, that's basically, like, do I need to say more? 17. Like, that's a very big number. You know, and I think a lot of people think about, like, oh, I want to get this birdie and this and that. And I'm like, you know what, man? Just getting par is really good because you can go infinitely above par until you basically give up. I didn't give up. I should have maybe, but I didn't. I was like, no, yeah, I'm not like, and I was like,
not a quitter.
Man, I didn't drive all the way here to lay up. I'm that type of idiot. So, but, you know, as an AM player, 930 rated at the time, I was just really happy about the experience. I actually got to witness.
Ooh.
This is a little side thing.
All right.
I actually got to witness the confrontation between Matt Dollar.
And
Bradley.
Bradley Williams.
And Bradley Williams.
Yes. I remember seeing the video of it.
I was literally, because I had finished so early. Like, I was teed off and done by like 9. Yeah. That's how early I teed off. Yeah. But I was able to walk a bunch of holes.
At that time, were you working for DD then?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, not even
so. You said 2015, right?
Well, whatever that second year was. I think that's 2015. I might have been living in California at the time.
So you just traveled out for this.
Yeah, I saved up a bunch of money and I told my wife, I was like, hey, this is like one of those things I think would be really cool to go do. And, you know, I didn't hate the experience. I basically went out there by myself, which
I've done that.
You know, when you do that though, like, and especially for me, I didn't know like anybody out there.
Yep.
So it was like really hard for me to try to find something to do. So I had a really weird first experience for that event, which is now like one of the...
And then taking a 17.
You know, my goal was like to finish like in or around 100th place. And I was like 110th or 111th. Out of like there was a lot of people that was like 150.
There's always a lot of people that play that event. It's always awesome.
Yeah, and I beat a couple thousand rated dudes.
Nice.
So, but anyways, that was like a cool experience. Minus the fact that I got like... I like threw my arm and my bag out on one hole.
Yeah.
What first of all?
So did you throw all your discs and then have to go get them and then throw again? Because I've seen that. I've been on a card where somebody had to throw all their discs and then had to go get them in order to finish the hole. I've seen that.
No, I was able to because I had a putter that I was just really comfortable with, and I knew I was like, well, I'm not going to throw this one out of bounds because it only goes 180 feet one way straight. Right. So, and you know, you sit back and think about it, it's like, oh, if I would have just thrown a putter the entire time on
the whole week, not just that whole the entire week. Like the year that we did stroke and distance at USDGC, I don't remember what year that was, 12 maybe, but maybe I don't know. I'm bad at years, but I remember I threw a lot of mids. I threw pretty much nothing but mids off the tees just because it was all placement for me, and I felt the most comfortable throwing my mid-range, so I was just throwing it all day. And I don't think it was 12. I think that had to be like 11 or 10. So I was just throwing a buzz all day long, and that's it. Just keep it in the middle. If I had no fear long, then I would throw a driver most likely. Right. But that's how, you know, well, going on to my story of my biggest number, it was not at USDGC like most people. Yeah. I've got 7s out there before for sure. But my
biggest number 7.
Well, that's not my biggest number. Okay. I mean, I've taken a bigger number like back in the day playing AM at like not USDGC, like October Frizz when we had like a 1,200 foot hole, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Take big numbers back then all day long. But the biggest number I recall taking was at Maple Hill, hole number 1.
Ooh.
And it was the first year of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It was So my Disc Golf Pro Tour did not start out so great, right? And a little side note here, if you ever have a trivia contest, if this is ever a trivia question, who threw the very first shot at any Disc Golf Pro Tour event, like back when Steve Dodge ran it, was Denise Cameron.
D?
7:30 in the morning, she had the first tee time. They called her name, very first person to throw, because Maple Hill was the first Disc Golf Pro Tour event, and she did the inaugural shot.
Like, what?
It was cool. Yeah.
Did you get it on video or anything cool like that?
Probably not. I might
Somebody
have.
had to.
It's got to be on video somewhere. But
yeah.
But anyway,
that's awesome.
So later that day, my tee's up. I'm ready to rip a drive, and I'm not feeling super confident because this is like right about the time in my career where I'm starting to like slow down and not play. We're only there because Denise wanted to go play Maple Hill. I love Maple Hill. It's one of my favorite places on earth, but I wasn't there to win the tournament at this point. I was just there to have a good time and make sure she had a good time, the experience, blah, 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 list goes on. I throw a fantastic drive. Like, buttery drive. Like, man, this is great. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm off to the left a little bit, but whatever.
So you just mash it over that pond.
I mashed over the pond,
Okay.
and I've never had an issue getting over that pond. I've thrown it in the pond, obviously. Who hasn't? But majority of the time, I don't have any issues getting over the pond. But my second shot, it was a little breezy, and I just got too much too much air under it, I guess, is what I did. A little too high, and it just started dumping left. I don't remember if this shot went out of bounds. Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm sure it went out of bounds. We'll just say it went out of bounds. Left, over the wall. So I walk up, talk to my group. Does this look good? Yep, right there. I mark my lie. I look at the hole. And are you familiar with this hole? Probably not.
I don't know
like
where left is. I know that there's a wall.
Good. Left is not good.
I feel like nothing but the center is good.
Yeah, well, the wall goes all the way
drive.
along, right? And then the mouth is like way over here, where the mouth to the green, it's kind of like a basket cut out into the woods is what it is.
Okay.
And there's a wall that goes all the way through it. And if you're over that wall, you're out of bounds. So I'm standing here looking at this shot thinking, okay, first hole of the tournament, do I jump putt down to the mouth and then try to hit a 60-footer to save my 4 or 5, I guess that would be? Or do I just try to throw it directly over the out of bounds through this tiny little bitty window?
Oh, it's the A to B shot? You
Yeah.
went for the straight at it shot?
Boom or boom. I went boom and then boom, boom. And nothing good happened from
Turd
that.
sandwich.
Oh, it was bad. I didn't make it. I threw a B. And then I'm left with basically the same exact shot, right? Because
Yeah, you couldn't go further at all if you're trying to cover
on
OB
the
whole
OB
time.
line.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what do I do from here? Well, let's just do it again because it's not going to happen twice, right? Oh, it happened again, but I didn't. I at least passed into where the island is, and I missed over past long right OB.
Okay.
So I threw like OB 2 or 3 times, and I ended up taking a snowman to start my round. So it was a big juicy 8 is what I took. And that's the biggest number I recall taking on tour. Granted, we don't, back then, keep in mind, back then we didn't play, I mean, the courses we played weren't quite as challenging as they are right now. Like, I guarantee you, if the courses are all in play right now that were, back then or vice versa, I would have definitely taken some big numbers on the courses that are out there now.
Dude. Okay, well, let's just put this into perspective. Like, how many events, give or take, you can be totally spitball, but how many events have you played?
360 some.
Okay, so that was like really close to a lot.
Yeah.
So out of 360 some events, an 8.
8 is the highest number I remember taking. And I could...
You guys go ahead and like if you hate this guy just as much as I do right now.
I mean, there's a chance that I took like a 9 or a 10 at another tournament one day and I just completely burned that from my memory. But I really don't believe that to be true. I've never taken a hog snout, which is a sort of 11 if you didn't know.
I have.
You had the other day.
I did the other day.
You did.
I take so many good ones. It's hard to just keep track of the tallies.
It is. It absolutely is. But no, that's kind of
8.
one of my highest numbers. So it's kind of crazy, right?
And people average that, like,
and
going through rounds, and you're just like, oh man, it's the worst
right?
thing I ever did.
I mean, I've taken multiple
15,
8s,
20
if
years.
if that makes you feel any better, like a bunch of 8s. But,
yeah, it does actually.
But
I'm still really shocked. That it's just like,
Right?
because that's a hard hole. Like, I'm not getting down there. I'd be really happy with a 4 on that hole.
oh yeah,
I think I would be really challenged to throw over the water. I
Yes.
feel like it's like a 380 to 400 carry.
it's about a 400-foot carry.
Yeah, that's
maybe yeah, probably 400-foot carry.
that's
is what
like
I would
everything
say.
I have to get over that.
And I mean, you can go left and be safe. You're just gonna be
Hey, I didn't
Christmas
drive all
tree
the way
farming.
here to lay
shopping.
up.
You're gonna be Christmas tree shopping if you go left
Christmas tree shop.
because there's Christmas trees everywhere over there.
Yeah.
But
That's
no,
insane.
yeah, that's 8. And kind of
Excuse me.
most people when they get big numbers, it comes from a lost disc typically. So that rule has changed over the years, right? The lost disc rule. It used to be if you lose a disc, you just take it from the last place that it was seen by the group, which I like that rule personally. That way you're not like double punished. It helps with speed of play. If it's just big, massive downhill shot and you go down and you lose your disc, you have to hike all the way back up and rethrow. It used to just be your group discretion on where it went out or where the last place it was seen, and that's where you throw from.
Right.
That's typically where most people's high numbers come from. But do you have a good lost disc story? Have you lost a disc
in tournament play?
Anytime tournament play, casual play? Do you have lost a disc and found it somewhere else or anything like that?
Oh, that's okay. Funny story.
Okay, good.
So
it's what we're here for.
Right. So same exact event, that Ledgestone event where I took, by the way, I lost about 13 discs that week from practice rounds. And that this time I did not have a large bag. I don't even carry a large bag now.
Hole 1 out there is pretty.
Guess where I lost 3 discs at?
It can be traumatic.
I lost 3 discs on hole 1.
Yep.
Just in a tournament round. Not a tournament round. Not in a tournament. Practice round.
Rounds.
Just practice round.
Yep.
Just trying to figure out that shot. It's actually a really technical shot that, now I understand how challenging it is after going out and watching for a couple of years, Worlds and some other things. But I choose this option. I actually played a practice round with Dustin Leatherman, Hannah Leatherman's husband, and I believe they run Eagles Wings, or they're part of.
They run it? I think they own it.
Okay,
I think they're the founders of Eagles Wings. Yeah.
Right. So, and anyways, he showed me this pitch out play. He's like, "Oh yeah, you just pitch over here to the grass, and then you just throw it across this corner." He's like, "Because I'm not trying to go crazy," and I was like, "Oh wow." So I try to do that. I pitch out to the right, and I end up rolling OB in tournament, and then I throw from the drop zone.
Okay.
And I smashed this. At the time, it was a Star Boss, yellow Star Boss, and I had 6 aces on. It was probably 4. I had 4 aces on this thing. It was all blacked out on the bottom of it. Super sweet, Shady Oaks anniversary stamp. And I was like, yes, dude, this is looking so good. Skips off that berm right by the basket.
Yeah.
See you later, clown. And that disc was gone, forever. I went back and get it, because it had. I was throwing it really well. I just didn't throw it well that weekend.
It's the worst when you lose a disc that you're throwing very well.
Right. So I go back out to Ledgestone. Forget about this disc. Go back out to Ledgestone. What was it, 2 or 3 years later for Worlds? And I'm walking around and I see, I don't know. I only walked this event because I was team manager, so I was just walking and supporting players. But I walk up to the Lost and found up by hole 1 or Tournament Central. And I was like, oh, that disc looks really familiar. I'm like, that's my signature.
What is going on?
And then I walk over there, and sure enough, it's my name with all those ace signatures, and I flip it over, and there's my Shady Oak stamp on the top. My disc came out of that lake 2 or 3 years later.
That's crazy.
And I swooped on it. I was like, this is mine.
Yeah.
It smelled like holy crap.
Oh, I bet. It smelled like death.
Just been sitting in that mud cesspool for forever. So I was able to get that back. Then I sold it. But I was able to get that disc back. And that was I think, in my opinion, that was my most unique story. Because there was no way I was thinking I'd ever get that thing back. I lived in California. I'm not driving or, nobody's usually calling you from California number.
Well, that's the thing. Now it doesn't seem like very many people call the number on the disc if to get it back. Granted, there's some honest people out there, and there's some lost and found boxes on courses. I know Kansas City has a bunch of them. A few out in the Northeast have a bunch. So if you find one, you just toss it in there.
Right, the lost box.
Yeah, and then you sometimes will get it back. It's to the point now where I don't even put my number on the disc. I just put my name on it.
Yeah, okay, so you, being who you are, and I mean, I'm sure you don't lose discs that often. But when you'd
be surprised.
Well, I know that every time we play hole 12 at Pan, you bring a disc to throw at that basket, and if it goes long, it's probably going to go in the water and be gone forever. Yeah. But the ones that you do label or mark, what's your lost disc story? Have you ever had somebody be like, oh my gosh, I'll give it back to you. I'm going to hold it ransom until you send me 4 signed discs from you.
Nothing crazy like that, but, with lost discs, yes. Majority of the people will see my name or another pro's name on a disc and think, oh yeah, gold mine, I'm getting something out of this. And majority of the time, they'll hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is and say, hey, I found your disc, XYZ course, blah, blah, blah. How do I get it back to you? I would say 90% of the time that happens, it's usually one of those burner discs.
Yeah, keep it.
And I'm like, oh man, just keep it. How's it fly for you? Have you thrown it? Because
Of course I've thrown it.
they've thrown it.
It was in your bag. I'm throwing it.
Yeah, and well, not just that, but I mean, anytime you find a disc, you want to just rip it and see how it flies. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. If I find a disc and I'm like, it's midway through the round and I don't want to carry it, but I do want to throw it, I will rip on it and like have no regards as to where it basically goes, because in my mind I'm like, well,
it was lost.
It was lost.
Yeah. I make an effort. I mean, and you do as well. Make an effort to get the disc back at least. Yeah. I mean, I've got a stack of discs that I need to drop off the DD store still that I find randomly on the course, looking for my disc or your disc or our disc or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, no, most people call me, and if it's something I want back, like if it's like for instance, a disc that comes to mind in my bag right now is the B Dynamic, the EMac,
B
right?
Dynamic.
If I lost it on a course and somebody found it and called me and said, "Hey, I found your disc," I would be like, "All right, cool. Here's a couple brand new discs for that." There's just a handful of discs that are in my bag that I would definitely do that for. But honestly, most of the time, if I'm losing a disc, I lost it, and not that I'm proposing that people do that, but if it's a disc that I threw, or if I just forgot about, it's one thing. But most of the time, if I'm losing the disc, I just consider it gone for the most part.
To the
Not
disc
always.
golf gods.
Not always, just sometimes. But because there is definitely those discs that I definitely lose that I want back. But
yeah,
most of the time when they call, I'm like, just keep it. If you want it, you can keep it. If you don't want it, give it to somebody else.
So what do you think, or what's the furthest state away from you, or relative to where you lost something, to where somebody's like, hey, I got it, it's over here?
Not very far. I mean, I'm sure I've lost one here and somebody found it and took it somewhere else. But I can't think of any off the top of my head, honestly.
Fair.
Honestly. So
you're like, no, nobody from Mexico or
really.
Sweden?
No, I haven't lost anything in I mean, I'm sure I've lost I know I've lost discs in Sweden. I did lose a disc in Sweden and in a nasty pond, and a dude got in the pond and found the disc for me.
Oh my god,
that was pretty cool. And that was full circle, the disc I aced with at the 81 hole challenge. So that was really cool.
Give it back.
Yeah.
Yes. You love that guy.
That was really cool.
I'm going to buy you some beer.
That was fantastic.
Right?
So. But travel, speaking of travel, I kind of want to talk about one thing that crossed my mind is how crazy the tour is now in comparison to when I was traveling full time.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense now how the tour goes. And obviously back then it was all dependent on the club and who was running the event and when they want to run it and the tradition of the event. The list goes on. I remember the longest weekend, or 3 weeks, I guess, of my life were a tournament I played in San Antonio, Texas. Played an A-tier down in San Antonio. Drove to Columbus, Ohio.
What?
And flew. It's not over. This is the same week. Drove to Columbus, Ohio from San Antonio, Texas, and then flew to Portland to play the Beaver State Fling. Played the Beaver State Fling. Flew to Columbus, Ohio to get my car, and then drove to Maple Hill to play Maple Hill. This was back when Beaver State Fling and Maple Hill were back-to-back weekends.
Back-to-back?
Back-to-back. And I'm not talking about a week in between. I'm talking this tournament ended on Sunday, and then I had to be at Maple Hill by Thursday, I think it was. Or maybe it's a 3-day event back then, so probably Friday.
Right. Oh, you feel like practicing? Psych.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
That was...
No sleep involved.
That was ridiculous. Just insane amount of traveling.
Did anybody do the same thing? Was there anybody with you, road dogging with you?
There was people with me, yes. Like, I don't remember if... I don't think Paige was with us yet on the road. I don't think Pierce was there just yet. I think this was the year before she went out on the road with me full time. I think it was just me and Liz Lopez. It was us two traveling, and I think it was just us that went to all three of those events. There were people in at Beaver State Fling,
right,
and then went to Maple Hill the next year. And I think this was the year... Man, I don't even remember, honestly. It's been so long. But yeah, I think it was just us two back then. But talk about road warriors / traveling. I mean, it was insane.
Just baby wipe shower.
Amount of traveling we did, and I mean, just the drive alone from San Antonio, Texas to Columbus, Ohio was insane.
That's so far.
And then you go play Beaver State Fling, and then you fly and you land in Columbus, and you get to your car, and you're like, all right, I'm done. Oh, no, psych. You still got like a 10-hour drive ahead of you. You know?
I feel like physically, and this goes for a lot of the tour players too. I feel like physically, like you might not be able to take care of what you're putting in your body, like food wise, because it's just like, I need something convenient. So right on to those dudes, like, you know, making your own food and man, dude, I know I would be super like lazy and be like, where's the next Carl's Jr.?
Yeah.
You know,
it's Hardee's around here is what we call it. Just
okay. Hardee's, his sister or whatever it is, his daughter or something like that. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So Carl's Jr. on the West Coast, but
for sure. I mean, there was a lot of that. We always enjoyed seeing a Whole Foods on the road because we could stop and kind of stock up the cooler that we had, because we didn't have vans. I mean, my first year on tour, I had a truck. I had a 2003 Dodge Ram with a topper on the back that I built a bed, and that's what I traveled in. Yeah, that was my traveling, and I slept in the back. Just slept in the back on the road. And
with Ralph? Was Ralph there?
Yes, Ralph was on the road. Ralph went on the road with me the first year, and he pretty much, for the most part, stayed on the road with me for most of my career. He didn't go to every event. You know, there were times when I'd drop him off in Texas at my parents' house, and they would watch him.
Right.
But he went to majority of the events. Like, for instance, funny you say that, Worlds, the year I won Worlds, he was there. And he was there, and that was the weirdest week ever, because at Worlds we had a hotel, and you weren't supposed to have pets in this hotel.
Ralph's not a pet.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. But they didn't agree with that.
Oh my gosh.
And let's see, probably 2 or 3 days into Worlds, we got kicked out of our hotel and had to find new lodging at that point. And not just got kicked out of the hotel, but didn't get refunded for the rest of the week, which, full disclosure, it's my fault. I completely understand. I didn't complain about not getting my money back because I was in the wrong. Don't do that. Do it. It's okay. Just get away with it. But
that's like one of those ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought, why are they gonna? I mean, he's never in the hotel room. Just him.
You know, it's not like he's defecating the entire place.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm sure they've had people that have been worse at that hotel.
Agreed.
And anyway, we ended up staying at a buddy's house. He had room for all, 5, I think, of us that it was, or something like that were traveling together. And so we stayed at his place. And then the last night, I'll never forget, like, I was killing it. I was playing some great disc golf. Like, I had the best semifinal round of my life, and I slept that night, I believe, on the lead. It was either on the lead or like a couple strokes back. So I knew it was like I was in contention and I was ready to make this happen. And I did not sleep a wink that night.
I was about to say, how did you sleep?
And
with the lead?
We slept in the DDRV. One of the original DDRVs. Rusko came out. He was out there, and I slept in. It was the one that Matt Lloyd had. The one that's like all falling apart. It was in great shape.
It's not falling apart. That thing's a great billboard for us.
Yeah.
Great billboard.
Yeah. Billboards don't have holes in them. But no, that RV was there, and I slept in that RV the final night of Worlds, and I remember it dumping rain that night. And when you're in an RV and it's raining, you don't sleep very well. It's super loud in there, and I remember just laying there staring at the ceiling, just anxious and ready to go. You're
like, I'm so ready for tomorrow. It is tomorrow. I can't believe. There's no way I'd be able to sleep.
No.
That would put me, first of all, I don't know what I would do, because I've never been that good at like a given sport where I'm like battling for a championship with a bunch of other dudes that are super good too, you know? But yeah, what's funny is that rain's usually super soothing.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely spent some hours in the RV.
Oh yeah. Or any other time that it's raining, it's just like, man, or like little white noises, that you have on your phones or whatever, that people have, like rainstorms. Like Bobby has that in his room.
Melton
Melton does
Melton
that too.
does that.
Melton's got like
every night when he
monkeys
sleeps.
on his or something like
It's
that.
like jungle. It's rainforest. It's rainforest sounds.
Yeah, but it freaked me out the first time I heard it because
I
like I
appreciate
heard monkeys like
And then like
going off in the distance. I'm
background.
like, what is going on?
Melton's just like, our mouth's open, already passed out,
Giving
dude.
me crazy dreams, but anyway, that's kind of my story. We gave the coffee away on the first episode, and this episode we wanted to give away this absolutely beautiful EMac Truth. It is a metallic EMac Truth. It's
Such
pink.
a good run.
It's got my signature stamp on it, and we were giving this away, and what we asked was for someone to share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it was, and I got a guy here, John Bell is who it is. He is the winner. He tweeted this video. John Bell, hit me up. I'm going to follow you right now on Twitter. So you should be able to send me a DM. Send me a DM with your address. I will get this shipped out. If you send it to me, well, you're not going to see this till Christmas, so I'll send it to you. I'll get it to you, I promise. Just shoot me a DM with your address, and I'll get this shipped out to you. And while we're talking about giveaways, I was in my office today at work, and I came across a disc I wanted to give away on the show. And I put it right over here in the stash. It is a Chameleon EMac. It's not Lucid X. It's just Chameleon. But it's from the run that I did pretty recently. I think there was only 20 of these made. Is that right? Of the originals?
Like literally the ones that I've seen has been like in your hand.
Maybe a few more than that. I don't recall the exact number, but whatever. This is like when they set up the stamp on the machine, they have to do misprints on them, and that's what this is. So it's got the big EMac silhouette on it, and inside the silhouette is little ghost stamp chameleons. You're never going to be able to see that on the camera, and obviously on the audio you can't see it. But you can imagine how beautiful this thing is.
Yeah. So let's say how many look like this one?
None.
Zero.
This one. This is the only one that looks like this. It was one misprint.
There's
and
like 4 foils on there. How many foils are on there?
1, 2, 3. Yep, looks like 4.
Wait. I see 3 black, a purple, and a white foil.
That's it. Yep.
This thing looks insane.
And it's the disc is like purple, but it looks a little different outside. Yeah. It's a 179 gram, and it's Lucid Chameleon, and this thing is beautiful, guys.
Yes.
And I want to give it away to you guys for the faithful followers that we have on the show. All I want you to do is just like we did with the coffee, just comment on this video. Make sure you like it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel first, but like this video and comment down below something about this EMac, this Chameleon EMac that you want it, whatever it is. I don't even really care what you say. Just comment on there, and I want to give this bad boy away to you because it's beautiful. I saw it, and I'm like, man, I should put this in my bag. And I thought, you know what? Better than that, I should give it away. So that's what I'm going to do. Give this one away. This will be our 3rd giveaway for our 3rd episode. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I want it.
Yeah. Well, you should comment on the video.
I keep lagging on the commenting on the video.
Yeah. You need to create an account. So
this is what it is. I don't have a YouTube account. So like anytime I try to comment on comments, it's like, dude, you can't do that. You need to start a channel. I was like, well, what does that even mean? Like, do I
just go start a channel?
Yeah, Eric's been telling me to.
Yeah, just do it. It's fine. Nobody's You don't need to put content out to have a YouTube channel. So
right,
good
do that, info there.
Go subscribe to things, and trust me, the pros really do appreciate all the subs that they can get and the views they can get and all that good stuff. So. But so I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. What do you have any good? Did you have any good holiday plans? I don't know when this is exactly coming out, but we're a few days from Christmas right now. Did you guys have plans? Are you having plans? What are you doing?
Typically what we used to do, besides anytime we were by family, we'd go over their house and do like the typical family thing. I think a lot of people kind of do that stuff, but over the last couple years since we moved so much, we used to just like find a casino and just let the girls jump on the beds.
Yep.
Jump in between the beds, watch the HBO channels or whatever that they have there and watch some Christmas movies. But the thing that we really liked was the night that we got there, we just go and eat the buffet.
Nice.
Just get super
Just get
American fat.
Just get fat.
Super fat. That's like what, and I'm usually only like a 2-plater, but this is the time when the girls are trying to get 3 plates in, and I love seeing that. So that's something that we typically do. We're not doing that this year because most buffets are shut down. Boo that.
Yep, they are.
If they weren't, we'd totally hammer them. But we're just gonna stay home, and my wife's an excellent cook, and she's gonna do some Japanese themed, like where we're gonna have teriyaki chicken. We're gonna do some rice. She's gonna make some sushi.
Nice.
So that's something it's kind of like a new thing for us this year. What about you? What do you guys got planned?
Christmas is usually, for us, spent every other year either in Texas or in New York at Denise's family or my family. And typically, well, let's see, this year is supposed to be a New York year. And man, I'm almost happy we're not going just because of the snow they got dumped on this last week. But I do love going up there when it's all snowy and just really enjoying it. It's really beautiful, actually. But this year was our year to go to New York, but instead we're going to Texas because it's one a little bit closer, and it's a 6-hour drive as opposed to a 19-hour drive. And it's just, we can get there on stopping once. We could take the dogs and just enjoy Christmas with my family. And it's too bad. I mean, Thanksgiving we had Friendsgiving with you guys, and that was a great time.
Super
we were
fat
gonna
then.
do that. Yeah. Yes. We were gonna do that again for Christmas, but my parents hit me up and said, what are you guys doing? What are your plans? You want to come?
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, let's make this happen. Let's get away. Weather looks like it's gonna be nice. Decent, at least. It's going to be a little bit warm, so we'll probably go chuck some discs. And one thing we did last year at Christmas, which was really freaking cool, was there's a lake right by my parents' house, pretty close to it. Lake Louisville is actually what it is. And we went at like 5 a.m., left the house on Christmas morning, Denise and I, and went and watched the sunrise over the lake.
Sick.
Yeah, it was like just beautiful. It was beautiful weather. It was just, oh my goodness, it was awesome. So I think we're going to probably try to do that again this year. We found this little hidden spot that it's just cool.
So basically,
it's really
if I want to see an awesome sunrise, just check out your story on Christmas Day?
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm probably going to take the camera and try to set up and do time lapse and then do it on my phone as well because it's easier on my phone.
I like the time lapse that you do, yeah.
It's going to be cool. I plan on doing that and just spend good time with the family. And then head home, and then be home, and then the new year's going to be here, and it's going to be awesome, and all that good stuff. There's a lot of really cool things happening that you guys just don't know about yet.
You won't until we tell you.
That's right.
So,
it's coming soon, though.
What?
I got some pretty cool, exciting things happening in the disc golf world, and get excited. And shout out to Birdie Fuel Coffee once again. They hooked it up for the giveaway on the first episode, and we're going to do some cool things for this episode. Not this episode, but the show, the McTako podcast. There's going to be some pretty cool things that I've been discussing with Birdie Fuel about, maybe some giveaways, maybe some specialty stuff, all that good stuff going on. And everybody loves coffee. Everybody needs coffee. So hit up Birdie Fuel and check them out.
Best bean water on the market, y'all.
It's delicious. It's so good. It keeps me going. So, but that's about all I got for this episode. You got anything else you want to add before we?
If this comes out, this is coming out before the holidays.
Yes, it will be.
Happy holidays, everyone. Yes. Whatever you choose to celebrate and however you celebrate it, just enjoy it. Because what else is there to do but enjoy it?
Exactly.
So, thank you for watching.
Yeah, I really do appreciate all the watches, the views, the shares, the comments, the likes, the subscribes, it's
everything. Been fun. It's been fun.
Awesome. And I'm excited to see where this show goes into the future. It's going to be a good time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.